Hi, it's Britt and Jess, and this is another episode of Basic Banter for Witches.
Every week, we dive into topics that resonate with us on our spiritual journey. Enjoy! Welcome back to Basic Banter for Witches. Today, you're stuck with me. It is Jessica. Brittany is just a little bit under the weather, so we've figured we'd give her some grace, get her back to her 100%, and then we'll have her back on the next episode here. So, which we've got some exciting things coming up. So super excited to share that with you guys. So it's just me. So it's a little quiet. Although I have realized I've made this little tiny little nook for myself to record, but my husband is definitely able, you can hear him in the background, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't know if it's Call of Duty or something came out today, and it's been the talk of our house is he's got to play. So I do apologize in advance in case you can hear him over me, because I'm a quiet talker but also not a quiet talker. So yeah, anyways, let's get into the episode. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'll try and not make this so awkward because I'm recording by myself in my own little homemade studio. Just sitting on the couch. It is cold as hell where I am. Cold as hell as it's 6 degrees Celsius. So that's not even that bad. Talking as a Canadian. It's just I'm getting used to the heating properties here. Back home, the heat runs all the time. You know what I mean? We would have the heat on all the time. You have to have heat in your house. Otherwise, pipes freeze and whatever else. Whereas here, it's we're not using, 6 of the 9 rooms. So we won't turn the heater on because we're only in one room. So we've got a fire. Anyways, it's a whole thing. So there you go. I thought this would be really hard having a full on conversation with myself, but I should know better. I'm one of those people I wouldn't be lonely anywhere. And I think people that know me kind of know that too. So today I just wanted to see how everybody's doing. I recently this week started doing what's called a simmer pot in my house here. And generally something with that is there's multiple ways to use it, different ingredients that you can use to incorporate. But I kind of wanted to talk about why I decided to do one, as well as because we're kind of moving into the gift giving season, kind of give you guys some ideas as to, what you could do for yourself or your witchy friends or your little covens or whichever. So starting with the simmer pot. I have it saved as our highlight reel on Instagram, so feel free to check it out. So basically, I decided to go with cinnamon, bay, and what was the third one? Cloves. And of course, there's going to be different metaphysical properties to each of them. I don't know. Oh no, there it is. Each one is going to have its own metaphysical properties. So depending on what you want to bring into your house, you can, kind of do a couple different things here. So I used cinnamon. I used a full-on stick. I didn't crush it. And that's more for aesthetic purposes. You could definitely use whatever you have. Don't go out and buy stuff if you don't have it at home. I just was out anyway, so I saw it. So cinnamon for abundance. I used bay leaves. Again, you can use it in the full or you can use it in a crushed or ground. That was to bring in positivity, manifesting my wishes. Another thing, okay, it's total sidetrack, which is totally just fine for us. With bay leaves, traditionally when we're doing a burning of sorts, when we're trying to kind of rid ourselves of crap, we can write down what we want to get rid of on bay leaves and then we burn them. So you could in turn write down what you want to bring in as a way of manifesting it and then bring it into the simmer. I just wouldn't recommend drinking it then. This specific winter one that I decided to do was one I plan on drinking as well. So I did not write anything on there. I just kind of put all of my thoughts into the touch there. And then after that, I went with cloves. So that was just to add a little bit of power, a little bit of oomph to my spell. So just a little bit more of like an energy that wasn't just coming from me, it was coming from the cloves as well. Then again, for aesthetic purposes, I went with oranges, which is for prosperity, which I thought was pretty cool because that's kind of the theme of everything I'm doing right now. And apples for good health and future happiness. And if anybody's aware of my situation right now, I'm living in Ireland and having lovely bits of fun with Irish immigration. So, future happiness would be super great for me. So yeah, so once I did, as I threw that all in a pot, what we do, and we do this in our spell making classes as well. Classes, we don't teach classes. We should, I think. But what I did is I mixed everything by hand. So I washed my hands up really well, and then I basically like went into the bowl and I touched every piece of of the fruit, of the cinnamon, of the cloves, everything that I could. And in that time, I was just thinking of what I wanted to bring in. Sorry, I always take a deep breath when I need to like focus or like bring my energy to like a new spot. So when I'm kind of doing and kind of putting myself back there into that position of, what I was thinking about. Yeah, so I was really like looking for, happiness and, to get rid of the crap that we don't need, to bring in all the happiness, bring in the joy, bring in the stress-free moments, to make everything a little bit easier. Life can be a little hard right now, and it feels like that's for me. I personally feel like I've hit a lot of walls, so it's not a complete road opener by any means, but to me, it was a way for me to therapeutically open my own doors, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I went through and I kind of like massaged every bit. I know it sounds so strange when I say it out loud. And again, I'm like talking to myself, so I'm like, what am I doing? But yeah, I like went through and I like touched each item, each item. Was again, this is what I do because I'm like a mom of two kids and I can't go anywhere. So yeah, a story for another day, I promise you. So I was like singing, and how you've got some TikTok songs in my head, and I've got, whatever, Christmas songs, all the things. I'm into that right now. So I just was like singing my intentions. And of course, my daughter, Maria, is like all over that, and Colin could care less. But there was a lot of joy in the room that I was doing this. And I was just doing it in my kitchen. I kind of just made the space cozy for myself. I knew that this is what I wanted to do for me, and for whoever else wanted to partake. It was like whoever consumes this is going to reap the benefits of the spell. So I'm really glad I did it, actually. But I'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, so once everything was all mixed up and everything kind of came to, I don't know, came together, I added water. So I basically just covered everything with water, and then I put it on the stovetop. I brought it up to a boil, lowered it to a simmer, and then just like left it. Now, as time goes on, of course, the water does boil off. So I added a little bit more water at some point. And the way that I did that is I wanted to like get the smell I wanted to elongate the smell into the house and everything a little bit longer. You don't have to do it the way I did. You could just bring it right to a simmer for like 5-10 minutes if you want. And then, take it off the stove, drink it, whatever you want to do. But yeah, so I burned off I don't know. I simmered off some of the water. I added a little bit more water. I also added about a cup of apple juice because I wanted to make it a little bit sweeter because I did want to drink this one. So yeah, it probably all in all was on the stove for like 20 minutes to half an hour, which doesn't sound like a long time, but it is when you're like waiting to drink something. So yeah, no, and it was once I like took it off the stovetop and I filtered it through my sieve and whatever else, like you could still do something with all of the pieces of fruit and the cinnamon and whatnot. Of course, I didn't really have a plan at that point, so I just composted everything or fed some to the chickens, but it is something that you could still prolong and do something with if you wanted to. I would say more specific to like non-ingesting spell work if you wanted, because all those ingredients still have that, right? But from then on, I just took the juice and I just put it in a cup and I drank it warm, and it was so good. I did offer some to like some family members as well, I have to remember that like I don't add sugar to like anything. So something that's really like probably bland is probably like has no flavor at all. Whereas I've just like really paid attention to the notes of the cinnamon, the notes of the clove, the bits of orange, bits of apple, the bits of bait. Like you can taste all of that in one sip. So it was nice for me because I knew exactly what I was drinking and I could taste every bit of it. Whereas, of course, some people needed sugar, and that's totally fine. That is just like that's the way, some people like to drink tea that way. And when we get into our tea leaf reading episode, we'll talk about, you want to drink the tea how you normally would. Otherwise, you won't get your full intention out of it. Anywho, yeah, it's just basically to make it more palatable. Make it up to your own thing. So yeah. So before I took it off the heat, I did mention in my Snapchats or on my whatever Instagram that I did stir it as well. So my plan is for that. Sorry, again, I'm doing my like focusing. So I decided I just had like a wooden spoon and I was turning clockwise. And when I was turning clockwise, I'm drawing everything that I want in towards myself. So I'm bringing that towards my body. I want the peace, I want the happiness, I want the joy. I wanted to bring that in. And then so I did that about, I think it was about 5 times that way. And then when I was like, I kind of reverted myself back and then I started to spin counterclockwise. And with those strokes, I wanted to send off my worry and send off my fear. I did not want that. So in this, in that same breath as I'm bringing in X and I'm getting rid of Y. And that was just what worked for me, right? This is how I put my intention in. At the end of the day, it's going to be whatever's easier for you. I think people think that there's so many rules when it comes to this kind of magic, and really there isn't. It is all about intention. And my intention for that specific spell was probably, if I had to put one word down to it, joy. I just wanted whoever to drink it to, feel less stressed and just feel, that joy that we don't get to feel very often. So so I offered to some family members. They drank it. I don't think they enjoyed it as much as I did, but that's fine. I drank most of it. And my daughter like adored it as well. So that was really nice to kind of spread the love a little bit there. So yeah, so that was a really, really fun experience for me this week, was trying to get to like dabble with that. So I'll leave it open if you guys have any, questions or, suggestions as well. Like I'd love to hear it. It's kind of one of those recipes that I'd like to get together for other types of simmer pots. Like again, that one was pretty standard. That was like I was at the grocery store and I had apples and oranges at home, but I grabbed the sticks of cinnamon and some cloves. I had everything else. So yeah, it could be like it comes back to like the kitchen witchery. You probably have everything in your house already. It's just what you choose to do with it and how you choose to think while you do it. Now that I've got your attention with all of that, well, let's talk a little bit more about, gift giving and what you could give your witch or coven friend or whomever this holiday season. Well, let's see here. So, with the summer pots, you could do like a little take-home kit, which I thought would be pretty cool. You can kind of just like either like again like the one that I used, you could give them like an apple and orange, some cloves, a couple sticks of cinnamon and some bay leaves, and like put it in like a little what are they called? Not a garbanza, a saffron. I don't know. Those little bags that have like they're like of sheer fabric with the pull string. Anyways, you know what I mean? Like a little gift bag. Hell, you can even use a paper bag. I don't think it really matters. But yeah, just as kind of like this is how you do it. Because some people, again, I don't think people think to do it until like they have the opportunity to. So that might be a fun little thing. So outside of doing that, you could also do what's called it's called a witch ball. And I was doing a little bit of research in terms of like what that even means, but they've been used for centuries all over the world. And it's actually known as like a pagan symbol. And of course, this there's it could be where Christmas ornaments have come around, because this is something that witches used, a lot of the time for protection in different areas of the house to ward off evil spirits. And so yeah, this is kind of like a relation to, Christmas decorating and putting bulbs in the tree or whatever, or bulbs, or what are they called? Baubles? Ornaments? You know what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, so I was just kind of looking through here. So they've been present for centuries, kind of like I said, throughout the world. They can also produce luck, again, with kind of what you put in there. Very similar to the purpose of having like like a horseshoe or whichever over a doorway. So very similar. It's just in like a glass Christmas ball. Anyways, so something like this I'm also going to do on Instagram because I think it's such a cute idea and great for gift giving, especially if you're like me and kind of want to like put your own little touch on it. I feel like this year, it sounds lame, but I do want to make my gifts. Um, I'm not crafty. I should say that. I can bake. I mean, you know what I mean? Or I'll give anything a shot. I think that annoys the hell out of my husband because when he was talking about eggnog and he's like, "Can we get eggnog here?" And his dad, I think he said yes, but I said, "Oh, we can just make it." And my husband, he's like, "We'll just buy it." Like, oh yeah, I guess that's also a thing. But this is something that you can, again, like, do you enjoy making or putting things together? This is a great chance to do that and kind of show your family and your loved ones a little bit of, another side to you. So back to the witch balls. Witch balls are basically like an empty glass ornament. So, when you get like a big round balls, go on your tree or whichever. So, you take one of those, take the cap off, and you're going to put some colors in there. So I know, like, what do I mean by colors? You put in a little bit of like silver paint. I'll tell you why in a bit here. So you can put in like some silver paint. You just kind of, you drop a little bit inside, swirl it all around so that it coats the entirety of it. You can do like a light one or a dark one, whatever, as long as it's silver. And then you can add in like your color of choice. So they say with your color of choice, you can do whatever you want, but just make sure that you can't see through it. That's just this one that I found, but I have seen some other like witch balls that are like themed, and I mean, they're very decorative because you can put cinnamon and, whatever the hell in it. So that is, I mean, that's just this one. Anyways, so going back to that. So you've got your silver paint, you've got your color of your choice, and I'm feeling like magenta, you know what I mean? That's kind of the Christmas that I'm setting for myself here. So as long as I cannot see through the glass ball. So with that, I lost my place. Okay, yes. So we will then, once everything's dry, give it about like 24 hours, I think is what they kind of say, depending on how fast your paint dries. Basically, the only thing that could happen is your paint could, if it's not dry, be tacky and get on everything else, and then there's scratches that make it through it. You know what I mean? So you see the issue there. So yeah, give it a good dry. Make sure that it has all that. We want to make sure that it maintains the reflective power from the silver paint that's in there. So just keep that in mind. So what I'm going to add to my ball is I'm going to add some cinnamon for protection. I'm going to add some lavender for happiness. I don't know where the hell I'm going to find lavender, but I think if I use an essential oil, I could probably get away with it. But whatever you got, again, this is like, make it fun, make it unique, make it specific to what you want to give. Dried rose petals. I know that sounds kind of crazy again because it's like wintertime. Where we're going to find those? A grocery store. And you betcha I'm going to dry out some rose petals. And that's for luck. So once I've got all those ingredients in there, I'm going to find some tinsel, very Christmassy, and I'm going to stuff it in there until like it's full, like cram packed, nothing's moving around, it is jammed packed. So the reason we stuff it with tinsel, and again, going back to the silver paint, the tinsel and the silver will reflect all the bad energy that could be sent towards us back to the sender. So again, it's just to kind of like bounce that bad energy just right off of you. We do not need that. And then that tinsel also acts as like an entanglement for bad spirits. So it's like a catcher of sorts, or like like it catches bad spirits and keeps them at bay. Anyways. Yeah. So that would be something. Once it's all done, you can put the like little cap on it or whatever. You can do fishing line it, and then you can hang it on your tree, or you can hang it basically anywhere, in the doorway, in your window, in your garden, wherever. Honestly, wherever you'd like to put it. So I'm excited to see how mine turns out. Wish me luck. I'll probably post like a DIY or whatever on our Instagram. But again, if anybody has any suggestions or anything else, please let me know. Next on my gift giving list would be like crystals. So I don't know about you, but crystal seems to be like a big part of this new like reawakening for people. My favorite crystals to give would be like a gift set. Now, most stores would have like a beginner's gift set, do you know what I mean? For this is for that, this is for this. Ones that I truly like to give are ones that resonate with me the most. I don't know if that's greedy or not of me. Do you know what I mean? If it's selfish of me to say, oh, you need a selenite, because we love a little bit of selenite in our lives. But I love that. So what I would give a person would be as follows. Okay, so number one on my crystal giving list would be a selenite. So you can do this in like a variety of sizes. They've got little pieces, big pieces, really depends on what you want to give somebody. But it is known as the goddess stone. It is known, or sorry, it was named after the Greek goddess of the moon. It is really good for shifting energy blocks. It's good as a recharger. It's good as a cleanser. It's really good for those who want to like conduct energy, if that makes any sense here. It's also really good like to keep it with your other crystals. It's a really like it helps us open ourselves up to a higher frequencies. So especially if you're working on like messaging work or as your as your spiritual gifts grow, it can kind of help open those doors a little bit more. So I love a good selenite. And you can, I don't know, once you get to this point where, you open up your third eye or, even just opening up yourself to like feeling a little bit more. Whenever I held selenite, I used to get like a vibrational kind of feel from it. So it is one of those crystals that can make you feel. So definitely keep that one in mind if you're giving away crystals this Christmas. Number two on my crystal giveaway for Christmas or holidays or whichever is citrine. I absolutely adore citrine. It is one of my favorite crystals. Honestly, I think it just comes in so many different beautiful colors. It can be like rough cut, it can be smooth, it is like bright or it can be dull. Oh gosh, it's so cool. You can even get it like kind of smoky or cloudy. Anyways, with citrine, it is focused on prosperity, joy, and energy. So it is known as, or also known as the sunshine stone, and it is the power of positivity. So what my main purpose is with this one is this, I mean, it stands for all of those beautiful things, but it's like holding a glass of like really cold, delicious, just sweet orange juice that just like gives you that boost of serotonin or whatever just to get you, it just brings light to your day. Anyways, it really lifts you up or lifts me up, anyways. So it's like, oh, I found a little quote here. Citrine is like a summer holiday for your soul. Oh, I love that. That's hilarious. It's so true. But yeah, so it also is like very money oriented as well. So orientated anyways. So if you are looking for like prosperity or like business people, you know what I mean? Friends that have their own gigs or, could use a little bit more luck in their life, I definitely would recommend citrine. Number three on my list is one of our favorites, rose quartz. So rose quartz is super popular. It's a beautiful crystal, and why the heck not? It can come in again a variety of different colors, strong pinks, light pinks. It can be in like a rough cut. It can be in a smooth cut. It can be big or it can be small. Sometimes it's kind of got like a milky look to it. It's so pretty. Anyways, the meaning of rose quartz is for love and compassion. So especially for those who are like really close to you, maybe like family members or with me, rose quartz is quite a feminine stone. Not saying that men cannot have it because it is amazing to have, but it's just very like a motherly, maternal kind of feeling I get when I think about rose quartz. So it is attached to the heart and the throat chakra. So to open up, that area where, love is needed. The throat chakra is a new one for me. I've never heard that, but that does not mean anything. So basically when we're talking about the throat chakra, it is about like vocals and speaking our truth. So maybe it is like telling somebody we love them. I'm going to swing it back that way. Basically it is like all kinds of love and all kinds of self-care. So keep that in mind. I found another really great quote when it comes to rose quartz. Like sunshine after a rainstorm or spring sunshine filtering across winter snow, the rose quartz comes in colors that lend well to the art of romance, which is so true. It is one of those stones that you can get like a really like solid pink, and it is like, again, that milky color. It's so dreamy. I really love it. Anyways, rose quartz is for everybody. It is gentle, it's romantic, it is ideal for any loved ones in your life. One of the last stones I'll talk about today is an amethyst. So amethyst, again, super popular stone. Most people know what they are. This is great for gift giving, especially if you're not really too sure, where people kind of sit on the crystal scale, if they're just getting into it or if they're familiar with it. It's a very it promotes healing, calmness, wisdom, learning, and it is also like a really good, not energy booster per se, but it does help you like connect with the divine or the spiritual side of things. So really great stepping step, especially if you're not really familiar with people's journeys when it comes to that. So again, there's quite the general boost that you get with having amethyst, but you can also like help with your third eye awakening. It can help with migraines. It's a very good, it's like a sleepy stone. So it's something that we recommend keeping by like your bedstand or under your pillow. And all in all, this stone is amazing. It can also help balance emotions, again, calm the mind, and, even actually help with like decision making. So it gives you that kind of courage to kind of step up and maybe like clear your mind to make a full decision. So really, really cool. Overall, a really restful stone, especially going into the holiday season. It's nice to kind of give somebody like a little bit of R&R. I think this will be like part one of my gift giving guide because there's so many things that I could dive into. But I think maybe what I'll do is I'm going to ask Brittany what she would gift. I'm going to get her to review this episode or whatever, listen to her, listen to it or whatever. And then maybe I'll get her input because this is just what I would give. But I'm only one person. I know that like other people have other things that they would do. And Brittany, bless her, doesn't she's amazing. My sister is like, ooh, she's gonna bake you some freaking cookies and they're gonna be so freaking good. But I don't know if she would do the DIY thing like I would. So, in terms of doing like the witch ball or doing, a little like crystal kit or whatever, um, you know, maybe let's do that. That would be fun. So, anyways, I'll leave it there for today. I know that was like, I don't know if that was a good episode or not. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But before you go, of course, we have to pull a card. So I figured I would just keep it simple. I'm gonna do my animal deck. Mine is a spirit animal, the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Guidebook and Tarot deck by Kim Kranz. It is phenomenal. Actually, it's not tarot. I apologize. It is like, I don't know, just a book. I would say it's probably more oracle because it is just like a book of animals. It's fantastic. Anyways, so, let's see what my people need to know for this next week. Overall, I hope you guys have been good. Oh, okay. Hyena energy. What the heck? Ooh, this is a fiery one, my friends. Hyena. Humor, wit, and sarcasm. I don't know if I just been called up by a card, but maybe I have. The hyena personality is a jokester and crowd pleaser, but below the surface there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. When the hyena when the hyena card appears, it's time to reflect on your reliance on sarcasm and humor to express your truth. Are you using jokes to hide old resentments in relationships or to mask things that you feel uncomfortable discussing? What would happen if you took your goals seriously? So when you're in balance, you're charming, witty, fun to be around. When you're out of balance, you're scrappy, petty, suspicious. To bring into balance, sobriety. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you can be sober from a lot of things. And I do mean that in like the actual sense of like, just being rid of whatever is bothering you. So not just like in drugs and alcohol kind of sense, but could be like sober from this, that, or the other thing. Okay, I'm also going to look up here. Oh, 187 Hyena. I have this new book. It's called The Animal Spirit Guides by Dr. Stephen Farmer. Brittany has the little pocket version, and I just invested in the big one. And I'm so excited. I actually haven't not even looked at it yet today. So, hyena. If a hyena shows up, it means when you're pushing a particular goal, solicit the support of your friends and family. Make it a point to have some one-on-one time with each of your children. You're quite ready and capable to take on more than you're presently handling, even though you have doubts about how much you can handle. Be extra sensitive and attentive to the words you choose, how you express them, as whatever you verbalize will be amplified considerably. Your powers of discernment and discrimination are strong right now, so pay attention to your intuition and trust what you get no matter what. It's a good time to do something silly that makes you laugh. I think that's really great. Honestly, I feel like that even that card, I hope that card comes up for somebody else. I hope it resonates with somebody else. It definitely resonates with me because doing like even this episode on my own, I was like, oh, I don't even know if I'm allowed to do that. But Brittany said I should do it. So here I am. And here I go. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll have another episode ready for you soon. I don't know. I hope you we love having you. We look forward to hearing from you guys. If you've got any suggestions, if you've got any gifts, I mean, again, this is only part one. So let's see what Brittany has, but you are welcome to come at us. Let us know what like to give this holiday season, or even as birthday or whatever presents, whatever presents throughout the year. Anyways, love you guys. Talk to you soon.